So I think we are now live. All right. So we're a little early. We're
Fantastic.
starting up in a couple of minutes here. And we just thought we'd get the timer on so people get to see that we're coming and give you a chance to jump in and let us know where you're from. If you can just go ahead, post in the comments who you are. Oh, there we go. We already got Demetrius from London. That's pretty awesome. Um, oh, awesome. Loud and crystal clear. We like that. Good.
Oh, there's there good.
Good,
We were
good.
nervous.
Never know with tech, right? Uh,
Exactly.
oh, thanks, Demetrius. That's awesome. So yeah, so today the topic is going to be the infinity matrix. We've had a lot in Asheville, North Carolina. Awesome. We've had a lot of people since we've opened up the group. We've had a lot of people ask us about, well, what is the infinity matrix? What's that all about, and how do you define that? So we thought for the first broadcast on our page that we'd come through and kind of give you a clearer explanation from our perspective with our project, which we call the Infinity Process, and how that kind of ties into everything we're doing on the page. And we've got Ireland.
We have Ireland. We have Canada. We have. Let's see.
Ooh, wow, we got a ton of
They're
new
just, yeah. They're
countries.
just they're. I can't. They're coming in so fast. I can't even read them. Let's see. We've got the East Coast in the USA, Montenegro, Cape Town. We have Hungary. Oh my gosh, Cairo. Um,
Nice.
That's okay, JJ. There's going to be a replay on this as well, so not a problem. He's having a hard time getting it to play. And let's
You
see.
might want to just JJ just might want to reboot your browser. Sometimes that does it, and sometimes it's just a Chrome issue too, because um, these software tend to work better on Chrome. So you might just have to kind of play around with the browser and maybe just restart it.
Yeah, so we've got Denver, Serbia, Greece, Israel. Oh my gosh. India,
Nice.
Belgium, Queensland, the Philippines. Oh my
All
goodness.
right. Well, welcome everybody. We love to
This
see
is
the audience
amazing.
participation here and from everywhere. So today, again, like I said, the objective is to kind of give you an idea of what the infinity matrix is, and we want to leave you with every live stream that we do. Our intention is to give you information, but we don't really believe that that's enough, because there's a lot of people giving information out there, but then it's how do you take that and apply it into the world and into your existence. And we're definitely both very congruent with wanting to deliver content at some point throughout the broadcast, which you'll be able to utilize. And I'm going to turn this thing off here because it's now going into that side. So I'm just turning off the timer, dumping that. There we go. Okay. Yeah, so we want to give you something tangible that you can take and use and apply, and really kind of start to hack this infinity matrix. And we will be delivering a variety of different content. Every now and then we'll be bringing in different speakers, doing interviews of people, experts in the field of everything from quantum physics to biology to, whatever. Whatever you guys want us to bring, we're going to bring to the table, and have that kind of content out for you. So with the topic today, I think it first warrants a little bit of background on Ross and I, and how it all came about. About 11 years ago, Ross and I came together on a project where we started to see, or we realized at the time, that in the personal development, spiritual growth realm, and really any growth pocket that you see out there, the major issue with the industry was that people were learning, getting a lot of information, but they weren't applying the stuff, right? They weren't doing anything. They weren't really making lasting changes. And so they keep coming back to another workshop, to another seminar, to another webinar, to another. And they were doing that cycle. and so they were accumulating stuff, but they weren't applying things. And so as we kind of unfold what the infinity matrix is, you'll see how that all kind of ties in to what we're doing. And so we came together and put this really amazing program. For the last 10 years, we've been beta testing in a variety of different areas with different types of people. And we really feel that the world now needs something like this so that they can really start to understand their true power and their ability to design their reality and become unstoppable regardless of what's going on. And I'm going to come back to this probably at the end but there is a lesson a teacher of mine taught me, I don't know, maybe 10, 11 years ago, maybe even longer. But he said that circumstances don't matter. Your state of being matters. I want you to remember that, okay? Because circumstances are what you're doing on your inside of your head, the internal dialogue and all those kinds of things. Or what's going on in the external, what's on the media, what's on the news, what's on the social, so those are circumstantial things. What really matters is your state of being. And I want you to remember that, because we're going to come back to that and tie that back in at some point throughout the call today. All right, so just want to go. Wow, we got Ukraine, we got Chicago, San Diego. Wow, that's awesome.
So I know a lot of people are also wondering, how does this tie in with biology of belief? And we want to really, really emphasize how this does. When Bruce Lipton, first started promoting, for lack of a better term, epigenetics, it was groundbreaking. And then when he quoted an acclaimed quantum physicist, and it goes like this: the universe is immaterial. It's not physical. The universe is immaterial. It's mental and spiritual. Live and enjoy. And this shattered all preconceived notions about what the universe actually is. And when you think about the term of epigenetics, it means that the outside world is actually affecting your inside world and such. And this is what we're doing, is when we developed this, we put this together as a way to let you better interpret the messaging and what's coming in from your outside world. And it's absolutely groundbreaking. We're going to show you, when you actually enter into what we call the choice convergence point. It's a place of solace. It's a place of just absolute peace, where all of this information, you almost start to see the streams, as all this information is coming in from all different directions. And you are able to just simply observe it, interpret it, and then respond to it. And if we look at the world today, especially today, and such, that's not the case. Everybody is reactionary. Everybody is stressed out. Anxiety is through the roof. And this is why we chose this particular time to create this specific group. It's not just a place to come and talk about stuff. It's just a place where we can show you a new way of thinking. We're not going to tell you what to think. This is not about, think this way and everything will be good, or think this information. It is a way of thinking and a way of interpreting the information that's coming in.
Yeah, and so when we look at the matrix concept and what the infinity matrix is, I think it's important for us to break it down first, and let's actually use the words and why we put those two words together. We look at the dictionary definition, the Google or Webster definition. A matrix is an environment or material in which something develops. Okay, it's a surrounding a surrounding medium or structure. So that's, if we think of the world that you're in, and you think of everything you're exposed to on a day-to-day basis through any of your senses, the things you hear, the things you see, the things you feel, all those things that happen on a moment-to-moment basis are part of the matrix. There's also though, and the popular, everybody or a lot of people know about is the movie The Matrix, and probably part of why you're here. What the Matrix focuses on, or at least the movies tend to show a lot of, and initially, is how the external matrix is influencing you or has some kind of control over you. We do take a slightly shift on that concept, and we'll talk about that in a moment. But it's the environment where material develops, right? And the infinity part of it is um, it's multifaceted, intentionally. But so the infinity part is because there's a ton of different things. Everybody, you could both be in this. You could have two people in the same place having similar type experience from looking at it, but they individually experience it differently. So the infinite number of possibilities is there all the time. But we see it as even further than that, is that there's the infinity of the external, and more importantly, the infinity of the internal, right? Because when you have the infinity of the internal environment that creates what you experience throughout a day-to-day experience, they work together. And I think it's important for us to remember that it's not a this or that conversation, it's a this and that conversation, right? The more we get into it's a this and that conversation, I think we come to a place of more empowerment. Okay. And so if you envision the outside world as one loop in the infinity sign, right? So it's one loop, right? And then on the other loop is the internal process, and you're in the center point, right? So you're in the center point, and then you've got the infinity, you've got the external stuff going on, you got the internal stuff going on, and you're at the center point. Okay, you're at the point where you have complete and total choice if you choose to get there. Right? Because if you're influenced by one side or the other, then you're not in control, you're not a place of choice, right? And what we want to do is show you and give you examples of how you can start to hack this matrix so that your state of being, which is what that point, remember I talked about it a few minutes ago, that point is that state of being is what you start to have more control over. Okay, you have more choice on that state of being, and then you can start to go out and impact and influence the matrix the way that you want, so that you get the reality you choose.
So think of this like it's like your cell phone. So your cell phone's on, and it's receiving signals virtually from all around you. You can put your cell phone up, you can put your cell phone down, you can put it to the to the left or to the right, and it's still receiving data, still receiving information. And so the infinity matrix is the same way. It's a multi-dimensional signaling process of information coming in. And this is where you, with your cell phone, you have the ability to turn it off. That's it, turn it off. You can't really, to a certain degree, you can filter what's coming in, but in most of the cases you can't, because that's another narrative that is being fed to you. And we're going to go into that in a later episode. So with the infinity matrix, which we're all there, we're all in it. You can't get around it. You can't turn it off. So you need to learn how to control it, how to filter it on your own. I'm going to take this, and I'm going to take this piece, and I'm going to take this piece, and then I'm going to look at them, and I'm like, I choose this one, and this one does not serve me, so it's going to go away. But it's your choice. And we want to take you to that center point, the choice convergence point, that part in the middle of that infinity loop. And such, and right there is where you have the calmness and the peace of mind, where you can just look at the information. Okay? It's not this far side or that far side. That's
Yeah, and I think
that
that,
type of
I think that goes back to the where we talked about the the this or that mentality. And if you think of the matrix, right? The matrix does tend to position the system is our enemy.
right.
Okay.
Yes,
And I think it's important that it's our belief anyways that it's the system, if you want to call it that, has been a resource that we've never understood how to use or access, right? And it's it's like giving you a third choice. So when Neo sits down with in the movie, when Neo sits down with Morpheus, and Morpheus gives him the option of this pill or that pill, right? Well, we're saying there's a third pill here. Okay, there's a third pill that has infinite choices, and then we get to determine where which rabbit hole we go down. Right? And so the awakening part of it is being aware that you're in this infinity matrix, and you're it's all around you. It's who you are. It becomes the sum of your state of being. Okay, that's what it. So if you were to think of the Big Bang, it's that Big Bang point of the state of being is you, and then everything happens from there. Right. So the matrix is where the infinity matrix is, where you start to accept that everything around you is you. Okay, good, bad, indifferent. You are moment by moment bringing into reality what you experience. So it's a hard pill to swallow, because it's total and complete responsibility for your life, right? But that's an empowering place to be. Some people get scared of that. That's an empowering place to be, because if you created it, whatever it looks like right now, then you're a powerful being. And I think it's important for you to remember that. Okay. The narrative of them oppressing us, or they're out to get us, seems to be what a lot of people get hooked on, and I think a lot of that has been media conditioning over the years. And the sensationalism of things that catches our eye and attention, and the reason why you're driving down a road and you may see something over there and has nothing to do with, but you've got to look. It's the conditioning that's happened. And so we want to kind of give you back control. And so the infinity matrix allows you to really get off the teeter-totter of, I'm feeling this way, I'm feeling that way because of this, because of that, or this person does it to me, or society does it to me, and say, hey, no, hold on, right? You create a reality that's completely unique to you, moment by moment, right? And that is completely dependent and based on the way that you utilize what's in the outside world, and how you take the inside world and mesh them together into this point that you call you.
exactly. And a lot of that comes from a lot of our readings and seminars and things like that that you've all experienced at one time or another, of living in the now. I've read so many books and so many, videos and seminars about you have to live in the now, you have to live in the now. And the problem being is that when you are trying to live in the now, you can kind of get there for maybe a few minutes a day, but then life is just bombarding you. And then you go into, one of the other two different sides of the matrix. You have the past and you have the future and such. And that choice convergent point is now. And that's why you get the calmness. That is the point that where we want to bring everyone to it. Let's just talk about current events for right now. um, you know the there is just like a global chaos going on, and people are just living in mostly in fear of the future. And we understand that. I get it totally, and it's caught me a couple of times and such. But then again, when I feel that anxiety coming up and I read something and I'm just like, oh no, oh no, oh no, I just bring myself back. What is this information? What is this information doing? What's the narrative of this particular point that is bothering me and disturbing me and such? And I bring myself back and I'm like, that is in a future that some schmo somewhere else is predicting. It's an idea, it's a headline, and you bring yourself back. Okay, that's a piece of information that I might put this aside. I'm not going to doesn't necessarily throw it away, but I'm going to find more information to go with that. And we're going to talk about. We're actually going to decipher a lot of the information that is coming in future episodes. Where showing you how this is being manipulated and how you can change your interpretation. It's your perception. And again, so Gary and I have just kind of, I mean, there are odd things that are happening. There's odd rules and odd laws that are happening, and we're like, okay, that's all right. We can abide by that. We can play it, but we don't get incessantly irritated by it. We're just like, okay, let's just keep an eye on this. What do and we have each other. We're like, what do you think about this? This is awfully odd. Why did this narrative change and such? And now all of a sudden, this anxiety is coming back up in the community. And that's again seeing all this, and it's just so in your face now. Why we decided, we need to be able to offer this program. We need to show people, listen, this is not how it is. It really, really isn't.
Yeah, and I
And
think that the that comes from, again, coming back to the reminder that regardless of what's going on out there, that we're creating it. We're collectively creating this. We're a part of the result that we're seeing and experiencing out there. So we felt that if we're going to, if that's the case, then our role is to bring to you guys as our ability to impact and influence or guide, direct, and present options to give you something that can help you to get to more of a place of ultimate freedom, right? Because the more you get caught up in that stuff, you get boxed in. You get you feel that you're being compartmentalized. You can't. You're this, you're that, and those kinds of things. But to get to a place of ultimate freedom, which is where we want to get you through the Infinity Matrix, you can then start to be in a place of self-created utopia, right? And then that collective consciousness then starts to reflect back. So I believe we can turn this thing around by having the people of the planet, the beings of the planet, start to radiate and emanate and live in a different way, so that the things that are going on out there just don't have an impact on you. Okay, I'm of the belief that you could have two people at a stop sign. So if you're an observer, let's say you're observing, you're two people at a stop sign, and they're both stopping and looking at the same thing out there, but experiencing something completely different. While there's no change in time or location, or the only thing different is the state of being for each individual, right? And so we want to give you that path so that you can create your own path, right? The path to peace of mind, the path to less stress, or or stress that supports growth, because there is that kind of stress that's there. More the negative stress that breaks you down. That's the stuff we don't need, or is not serving you, right? And to be a place of more serenity, because from that place, from that state of being, you can do all kinds of things that you wouldn't have otherwise been able to do. So today we want to kind of give you, and hopefully that gives you an idea. So again, the Infinity Matrix, if we think of the external everythingness, right? and the internal everythingness, right? And the flow of information between the two, and then the convergence, the choice convergence right in the center, where everything, the past, the present, the future, they all kind of converge right in there for you to decide what your state of being is going to be. And then from there, you go out into the world. And so that's what we want to do. And so we're in today, we want to start off with what we call a micro hack. Okay, a micro hack of the matrix. We'll give you some tips and tools, or some steps that that may help you perhaps to observe things a little differently in the world around you from now on. Okay. So let's start with for the first, what I want you to do for 24 hours, the next 24 hours, I want you to start to observe in the world around you, and you can start in your room that you're in right now, okay? Wherever you are and whenever you're there, doesn't matter. So this can be done at any time. That's the beauty of what we're teaching you. There's no, I have to be in a seminar. It's anytime, anywhere. There's absolutely no exception to the rule, okay? And trust me, I've gone through all kinds of possibilities, and we've been running this scenario over and over and over for 11 years now. So there is no scenario where this cannot apply unless you choose not to apply. Okay. So observe the environment around you, the extra, what I'm going to call from now on the external matrix. Okay. So the external matrix, I want you to notice what you see in the form of signs, symbols, shapes, different things out there that catch your attention. Okay. I just want you to be aware of it. And each time you put your attention, something catches your attention. So maybe you're driving a car and, you notice a sign as you drive by, or you notice something on a building, or something on someone's t-shirt, or whatever, right? Maybe you're walking through, as you go through, do your daily chores, you're walking through a store and you notice this and that, and there's so many different things, right? So whatever catches your attention, it catches it for a reason, I believe, right? When it catches your attention, I want you to do something. I want you to think about, what does that sign or symbol or whatever it is that caught your attention, what does that mean? What does it actually mean to me, right? So I would say, okay, what does that square mean to me, for example, right? What does that logo mean to me? What does it actually mean to me? And start to question those things. Because when you start to question it, then you can go deeper and say, okay, well, how do I know that it means that? Where was that? If I were to go back and see if I could find the origin point of where that meaning came from, was it something that I created, or was it something that was taught to me and brought to me as, hey, this is what this means, so go ahead and live life with it. And so the first step is start to become aware of the fact that there are a ton of different signs and symbols, shapes, images, numbers, different things that have specific meaning that you may not necessarily have attached that meaning to it, right? So you need to think about, what role did you play in that meaning? So that's first step, first 24 hours, okay? We're looking at the external matrix. We're finding things that catch our attention, okay? And then we're saying, well, what does that mean? What does it actually mean to me? And then how do I know that it means that? Like, how did that meaning come about? Really do something for 24 hours. Play this game, because you're going to start to see some really cool things happening, all right? Then, as a great experiment, and for the group that's here, what we'd like for you to do is take a picture, take a snapshot of whatever those things are, post it on the page, and tell us what the meaning is for you and how it came about. Like, just give us a little bit of story. We'd love to hear what kind of things are going on out there and how things came about for you and the variety of it. Okay. So thumbs up if you're gonna participate and kind of play that. That's just first 24 hours. Just go ahead and give us a thumbs up and on the comments down below here. All right. And that's the first. Then the next 24 hours, okay, you start the day off with deciding on a goal or intention that you want to have next week. Okay, so Saturday through Monday, through Sunday. All right. So from Saturday onwards, what's the goal or intention you want to have for this week? Demetrius, you're blowing us up there, man. I'll catch you. When we're done. I love it though. You're giving us.
This man wants to know.
I know. Yeah, I like he's down there. I see something. I'm like, oh, I want to talk about that, but I want to stay on target. He's got some great stuff. We'll get back in a sec, Demetrius. So that's the first 24 hours. Okay, then the next 24 hours, you set your intention for something that you want to accomplish that week. All right. When you have that intention, turn that intention to a bold statement that you're going to achieve it. Right. So it could be, next week, my intention is to add an extra workout day into my routine. That would be my intention. But the statement would be, I'm adding an extra day of workout into my routine next week. No questions about it. Because a declaration, you're making like a declaration, right? That you're declaring that that's going to be. You're not going to waver from it. That's your intention, is to do that. And you're going to, a bold statement, which essentially is a declaration that that's going to happen. That's what I want you to do, right? Then, so that's the first part of the morning. Start your morning off with that. Then, for the next 24 hours and longer if you choose to throughout the week, but at least for the next 24 hours after that, I want you to pick 2 or 3 of those signs or symbols that you've noticed on the first day. I want you to pick 2 or 3 of those signs or symbols. Okay, so it could be a street sign, it could be a logo. So just keep it simple. Sign or symbol. You could even, you could even do a number or a digit. Okay. That you see on a regular basis. And, we'll talk, I see someone had mentioned about the 1111 thing. We'll talk about that in a moment here. So something that when you see it out there, I want you to attach that bold statement to it. So when you see it, so let's say, for example, it's, I see it's a orange square. Okay. They're just picking something random in my head. So let's say, example, it's an orange square. I see every time I drop my child to school, I'm seeing it there every time. I'm seeing it a lot around, when I'm going around town. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, okay, now every time I see that symbol, I'm going to affirm to myself, right? I'm going to declare next week, I'm going to add an extra workout day into my routine. Okay, we're going to do that so that becomes the new meaning or association that you have to that particular sign or symbol. Okay, then let the external matrix, right? So what you're doing there is you're kind of setting up the internal matrix for what to think, what you're associate to that. Then you're going to let the external matrix bring those signs into your awareness as a confirmation that you've made a micro hack. Okay. So when you see that, it's the external matrix giving you confirmation, right? Hey, there's a glitch, in the matrix, they say it's the glitch, right? Well, what we're doing is we're doing a hack. It's not a glitch out of, something's going wrong. No, this is something going right. Okay. Because we've hacked it. We've done a micro hack. Okay. And so then I want you to do the same thing. Then I want you to report back to the page and let us know what kind of things. Hey, I set this intention. I noticed this sign or symbol, and man, I could see it everywhere now. And then boom. And also let us know the result of your goal or your intention. What happened with that? How did that come about? Okay. Keep us in the loop. Let's take this group and turn it into a living experiment of hacking the matrix.
So Gary purposely did not give you an example of something, because we don't want that example to turn into everybody's image or whatever their trigger. Throughout the week, we're going to show you ours as well. So we'll share with you what we've already been doing, and this is such a small step, but as we progress over the weeks, we're going to add more and more, some of the micro hacks, some of the larger hacks, again, just to bring you to that point, such integrating the internal with the external and controlling how that is going to affect the quality of your life.
Yeah.
We do it every day. I mean, it's virtually just automatic now. Okay, Demetrius is is talking about 1111. I mean, that's one of the most probably one of the more common ones.
Yeah, no, let's break that down. So again, here,
Mhm,
so
sure.
and how that works with the matrix here, right? So the 1111, 10 years ago, 10, 11 years, I would probably say even maybe 14, 15 years ago, I started to notice the 1111, right? And, start to catch more of my awareness and stuff like that. And after we started to, put together the infinity matrix process, I was like, well, how did that come up? Like, where did that, I'm like, who,
Mhm.
you know, and so I started to question that. How do I know, or what brought that to my awareness, my attention? I look back and you know and tried to find the source for me, and then I came to a point. I'm like, you know what? I find the 1111 for me as an empowering message, so I don't really care
Right.
where it came from.
Exactly.
Right? So for me, it helps to shift my thought process, helps me shift my perspective, even if it's just momentarily at different times, whenever I notice it. And I do take it as a signal from my external matrix that I've hacked it. Right? Because there are plenty of people in the world that see 1111 all the time and don't mean nothing to them. They just do right by it. It doesn't mean nothing. Right? So my definition and my acceptance of its meaning doesn't make it more valuable than someone who doesn't know. It's right. I hope you understand that if you're out there. What it does is it allows me to be at that choice conversion point. I'm at a point where everything that comes into me, I have a choice in how that's going to make me experience and exist in the world around me.
That's it exactly. I personally myself, I mean, I see it all the time because I have set up my internal matrix to look for it and to recognize it instantly. And it's very simple for me. When I see it, I mean, all I do is I just pause and I take a very, very, very deep breath. And when I'm taking that deep breath, I am breathing in all of the abundance around me. And then I slowly exhale, and then I go about my day. So it's very simple. That is mine. Gary's is totally different. There's 100 or so of you out there now. It's going to be different for everyone. So whatever message, whatever that means to you, great. It's not wrong. It's not right. It's you. It's your CCP.
Yeah, exactly. Your choice conversion point. And so we leave you with that for today. And again, hopefully you all got some good stuff out of this. Hope this start to shift the way you start to perceiving things. Let's all, again, like I said, let's make this page into a growing, evolving experiment of all of us hacking. So let's kind of use the popular movie again, The Matrix. Let's imagine, okay, that instead of it just being Neo having this, let's imagine everybody
That's good.
had that ability to start to do micro hacks. And then that micro hack, then those that are doing micro hacks that are of similar vibration, they get to experience similar vibration reality. Right?
Exactly.
So let's use this group as a powerful place to start to put out a positive impact out there by us, because again, You want to be the change? You want to see the change? Be the change, right? So by us going out and hacking the matrix to live our true potential, to be in that place of complete choice, and then teach people how to do it.
Exactly.
The beauty of what Ross and I are doing is we've created this whole system. So it's actually, and this is a little technical, and we'll get into more of it later, but we've created as an open source model where when you learn how to hack this matrix, you go and do whatever you want with it. You can hack it in all kinds of different ways and teach other people and ripple it. That's our intention, and even make it better. So we don't claim to be, the be all end all. We just have a really good grip on it because we've been running it and testing it out in all kinds of different scenarios for 10, 11 years, right? But when we put it out there, as we're doing now, you're going to learn how to do this, and you're going to be able to take it to whole new levels, and that's what we hope for, right? But
we want to give you some.
If you play along and if you do the experiment with us and check things out.
And we want to give you some good clarification as far as this group too. This isn't all going to be about the infinity matrix per se, and then yet it will be, because the infinity matrix is everything around us. Exactly. But we're going to go into more detailed processes, other processes. I mean, lots of people have asked a lot of questions about what we're going to be covering. We're going to be covering everything, and this is a long-term commitment that Gary and I have decided to make, because it's necessary, and we want to learn. We don't have all the answers. We want to learn. We want to learn from you, and so we're going to be having a lot of guests, a lot of interviews. We're going to take. We're going to be putting some videos together and showing how we're breaking down what's going on in your environment. Okay, and that environment is whether it be what you're seeing on TV, what you're seeing on social media, what you're just seeing around you. We're going to hit all of those aspects at one time or another. And we hope to have, I'm already working on getting some really, really nice interviews set up. And the hardest part about those is just timing, getting their schedules and our schedules to mesh.
You guys will be excited, so make sure you tune in and stay on this page, because we got some good stuff coming.
So some of the interviews are going to be live, and some of them will be pre-recorded, just because that's the only time that I can get them on. And but that's that is good. Content is content, and we want some really good high quality content. But we're going to work on this micro hack to start with. We'll do be sure to get everything posted. We're going to be posting ours. Interact, learn from each other. That's what this group is all about. And if you know of other formulations that are out there, share them. Say, have you tried integrating this with this? This is what I've done. We want to hear from you. We really, really do. And one of the powerful aspects of our particular program is that it is a blending of a number of different programs and such. It's all of our experience as trainers. Exactly. It's a convergence of all of our Gary's and mine experience, and it's ever changing. I mean, we just Gary just came up with a great idea. What was it, 4 weeks ago? He said, I think I'm going to tweak this a little bit. I'm like, all right, let me know. And, and it was great. It was awesome. Okay. But it was just a tweak, but it's just like, I learned something. I heard something. This idea came to me. So, that's what it's all about. And that's the beauty of this. As Gary said, this is kind of an open source, because, you're going to learn the basic template, but then you're going to take it, to the next level for you. Yeah. And that's what's
and it comes, when I was a martial arts instructor many years ago, a different lifetime ago. And, when I was going through my instructor's training and to become a teacher, my teacher said that the goal of a good teacher is to teach your students so well they become better than you. And that's what we want to do. We want you to be better. We want you to bring things to our life. Oh my gosh, I never thought about that. And that's what we're excited about that. Right?
Yes.
So, yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, so I
Exactly.
think do you want to run through a couple of questions here, Ross, or do we want to
Yeah,
wrap
sure.
up? Because we're
Yeah,
kind
we
of
can go ahead. We can go ahead.
all right. Let's see if we can jump through.
There's a lot.
Yeah, Demetrius, man, you're like you're a madman. Um, we love it, but okay, so. So I know that there was one. It's gone off the screen here for me. There was one asking about the, and again, the 1111 I think is a good example. So here's the thing with the 1111, right? What does the 1111 mean? Nothing. It means, it means Zippo. That's the bottom line truth of it. Okay. It's what you put into it that it means. So it doesn't really, I mean, it's what you buy into and what you put into it based on, and that's the key here, right? You got to be careful. What is it? Someone taught me this, and does it empower me, or does it not? Because while I chose to accept a lot of those meanings that I was taught in the 1111, the cool thing with the infinity matrix is that we put on that 1111 a whole ton of different layers of stuff that means.
Correct.
That it's like it's a whole different experience, a whole different reality. And we're going to teach you how to do that with things like that are regularly occurring. You don't have to do anything different. You just have to live your life. But now be in a place of, live more from that choice conversion point.
Okay, there's Aaron is asking, he says, to me, when I have a deja vu, it shows me I'm on the right track
Yeah. So
as I
deja vu,
reflect, like a marker. This is where I'm
100%.
supposed to be. That's
Nice.
very cool. That's
Nice.
really, really good.
So
So exactly, he's anchored himself to that particular sensation, and in a very, very positive way. This is I'm on the right track. This is
yeah,
where I'm supposed to be.
that's great. And it's a whether consciously or unconsciously, what happens is you've created what I call a future memory. Okay, so deja vu to me is, and in my experience, is a future memory. So at some level of mind, right, some level of existence, you've rehearsed that future happening that way so many times that in your mind it thinks it's real, and when it comes up, you go, "Oh, I've done this before." Right?
Exactly.
So it's a confirmation that you are moving into your true self. You're moving into your on your path. You're moving into the reality that you at some point decided was a part of you, what you need to experience on the planet.
And it's on my list, my agenda, that we're going to do a whole program on building our future selves.
Yeah.
It's a powerful, powerful program to bring yourself into the reality that you've already designed for yourself. It's a lot easier than pushing yourself into what we call the unknown, which is the future. And the future can be very, very well known. Wow, these
All right.
things are just popping up.
You guys are popping up. We love it. It's
This
awesome.
is
We are
amazing.
going to close it for the sake of just
For our sanity.
yeah. So keep them coming. We will get back into the group and respond and get back to you guys and
Correct.
reply. Just give us time, because the in our matrix there's only two of us. We're working on the multiple. So um, so we will get back to it and start to reply back to any questions or comments. Please do use the page and the group as a place where we can all explore what the reality is that we're choosing moment to moment, and share with the group. I think that that's the key. The more we can share, the more we can see, oh, I can relate to that, or that's a different perspective. It gives us all these infinite ways of again, my teacher, one of the things there's an ambiguity, and I don't know if he ever intended it for this ambiguity, but it's the many points of view. So listen to the ambiguity: many points of view, or many points of you. Right? So as we all talk, okay, we're getting many points of us when you're sharing it. So it allows us to expand who we are in the moment. So, yeah. So please, what about subconscious programs? Can we control them by controlling our conscious thoughts? 100%. And the again, it's the only way you can do that though is if you can find that choice conversion point and access it, and then decide from there how to impact the subconscious. Because otherwise, you're always playing in the role of someone taught me this, or I should do this, and there's a lot of what's the wording? There's a lot of muddled messiness that comes with that, unless you're at the choice conversion point, because that's the clearest point where you'll have the most direct impact on subconscious programming.
Right. We filter out the noise of the world.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of it. We're going to dedicate a few shows to that actual process. And you'll be amazed at the clarity that you eventually achieve quickly as well. And then other things will start to pop up. As when we're telling you about going through and doing the signs, and don't forget. Gary said, he goes, what does that sign mean? And then taking a step backwards. Why does it mean this? And then back again. Who told me that that's what this means?
And then what role did I have in?
Right. This will eventually become a habit. This will become a habit to where you're kind of like, oh, this is. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't realize that. I choose something different. That's what happens. And then you just one more step closer to that clarity.
That's a hack. Yep.
It's a hack.
All right,
okay, folks.
Thank you, everyone, for being here, for all your questions and your participation. We love it, love it, love it, love it. We're going to keep this up on a regular, and we will. I think we're going to do next Thursday as well. Is that right, Ross?
That's the plan.
So our intention is to try to keep Thursdays this time. And so tune in and see what we got. Sometimes it'll be shorter, sometimes it'll be longer, depending on what the topic is and how much we want to kind of help you to make the biggest shift. That's really what it's always about. It's always about what can we do to bring to the table. I noticed again there, Dimitri's talking about crystals and chakras. Again, this is not the time for that stuff. We will bring those types of things, experts in those areas. When we don't feel we're an expert, we'll bring them in. Okay. And then we'll take that and tie it into the infinity matrix.
Perfect.
Right. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful day. Go out and be the change. Remember, we'll wrap it up. Circumstances don't matter. Your state of being matters. So get control of that state of being. And that's what we're all about. All right.
Peace.
Peace.